Hello, women helping women entrepreneurs. I am so glad to be presenting to you today. And I'm going to introduce myself and all that fun stuff here in just a second. But I want to give everybody some time to hop on. So if you are hopping on, say hi. If you're watching this as a replay, drop hashtag replay. And if you're coming on now, let's say hi and tell me where you're from. And let's see who all is coming on. So I'm going to give you just a few minutes. I'm excited to talk to you today about visibility because I'm a big believer that there is so much power in visibility and there's so much it can do for our businesses as an entrepreneur, especially. So, again, say hi if you're coming on live, hashtag replay if you're watching this as a replay, and then tell me where you are watching from because I have friends all over the world. So, I'm hoping that they get a chance to hop on and watch this depending on their time zone. They could be in bed though. Hi, welcome. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to present to you guys today. So many people were interested in this subject. And I think when we hear the words introvert and visibility expert, those things typically don't go together, do they? And they scare us a little bit, getting outside of our comfort zone, showing up as the face of our business. So it looks like we have a lot of people on here now. So I'm going to get started. So let me first introduce myself. My name is Crissy Connor, and I am the self-proclaimed visibility queen. And I am a big believer of let's get visible. And I am so passionate about visibility because I used to be the person who was scared to be the face of my business. I was the person who, when you said video, I got paralyzed. Like I shut down. Like I can imagine it's probably somebody that's afraid of heights or afraid of closed tight spaces, like claustrophobic. So I felt that way. Let's be honest, I would get stomach aches. I would feel like I was going to throw up. I would probably have to go to the bathroom a lot. Like if somebody said, let's get you on video, I was not that person. And I owned a business with a friend of mine in 2012. It was my first experience as being a business owner. And I believed that you create an amazing product and they will come. Like you don't have to do anything else. You don't need to go on TV. You don't need to do commercials. You don't need to be on social media. Like people will just find you because your product is amazing and you just sit back and let the money come in. Can anybody imagine how big of a rude awakening that was for me? My business partner at the time submitted us to so many visibility opportunities, and I did not want to do it. I'm like, I'm an introvert. Number one, I don't do video. I'm petrified. I get hives, and I actually may get hives today because I'm really hot and like excited, and so sometimes I do get hives. So you may see like my whole neck get red, and it's okay. I was a perfectionist. I was not a professional speaker, so how could I get on video? How could I let the news station interview us? How could you submit us to Shark Tank? Because I'm going to fail. I'm going to fail if you put me on Shark Tank. I don't know what to say. I'm going to be like that Cindy Brady look where the light comes on and I just freeze, right? And so there were so many things that scared me. But I was shy in certain situations and definitely an introvert. And so it stopped me from wanting to show up and be the face of my business at the time. Well, obviously, that business did not last. Probably because I didn't want to get visible, but there were a lot of other things. It was our first business together. We did everything wrong, and I love to say that's the business I learned how to do everything wrong in. And I think we've all been there, done that, right? We've failed, we've done something wrong, and we've learned from it. And so I definitely learned a lot from that business. And so after that, I learned all about digital marketing, and I had bootstrapped everything for that skincare business. And so I decided I'm going to help some friends out. They need some help with digital marketing and social media, and I'm actually enjoying it. Again, I get to be the behind the scenes girl. I don't have to show up for them. They get to do all the showing up, and I can sit back and just kind of like create their content, schedule their content, and just be done with it. Well, I realized really fast that you can only take so many clients, and I was getting a lot of clients from referrals, and I was like, what if I started doing like strategy calls or helping people or created a course or something to make some more income? And the first thing I realized is that you got to be visible. Like, you got to show up. How are you going to help people? How are people going to know who you are? Remember back at that first business I talked about, I said we were going to make great products and they were just going to sell. And we weren't going to have to do anything because they were going to be so amazing. Why would I need to go tell people how great they are? Because they're so great, they're going to sell themselves. I don't know about you guys, but that doesn't really happen. Not, well, I mean, some people probably, but typically you have to know how to market your product. And maybe you don't have to show up as the face of your business. I love to say that Coca-Cola spends $3.69 billion on ads. Most of us in this group, in this entrepreneur group, don't have that kind of money to spend on ads, right? So we get to show up as organic as possible to build our business. And I believe that visibility is the best way to do that. It is the cheapest way to do that because all it takes to get visible is typically your time, right? Showing up, maybe a little getting out of that comfort zone, but really just showing up as the face of your business. So you're probably wondering like how I got from there to where I am now, to that I like to call myself the invisible hermit, to calling myself the visibility queen. And like I said, I knew that there was a cap on how many clients that I could take in my business, and I was trying to figure out how else can I continue to grow my business. I started doing phone calls with people and helping people one-on-one, right? And I was like, there has to be a way I can help more people. Like, I can only take so many phone calls, keep up with my workload, and everything kept pointing to video. Well, I don't know how many perfectionists we have in this group, but I am a perfectionist, recovering perfectionist now, but perfectionist. And so I thought I would just record all these videos, and then I slashed them apart because they weren't good enough. They needed edited. They just weren't, like, I wasn't satisfied with them. And so the only answer was to do Facebook Live. Now, this was before stories. Had stories been around, I totally would have went and did stories because, hello, 15 seconds, it goes away in 24 hours. That's like the perfect introvert's dream, right? Like, that's the perfect thing to do to get used to video. So I decided to cheat on Facebook Lives. And if you guys have never cheated on Facebook Lives, good for you. Or maybe you've never done a Facebook Live. And maybe I shouldn't tell you this, but you can actually cheat on Facebook Lives. So I decided to do Facebook Live on my personal page. This was probably back in 2016. About 10 times I cheated, and I would go live on my personal page, and I would edit my audience to my privacy settings to only me, and then I would go live, and then I would watch it like 50 times. No lie, 50 times, and decide, okay, that looks all right, I'll post it. So I did this 10 times. So cheater, right? So cheater. I mean, genius, but cheater. And people would message me and they would say, I missed your live. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I was so cheating, guys. I was so cheating. I was pretending like I was going live and they missed it. And technically everybody missed that live. Every single person missed my live video because I was cheating and only doing it for me. And then I would go change the settings to public or friends only. I cheated constantly at Facebook Live, like 10 times, maybe even more than that. I lost count. So I decided that I had to get over myself and that this was silly, and that there was no instant gratification with going live and hiding, right? Only me. And so I decided to go live again on my personal page. And I was like, I need something that I don't need a bunch of notes for. Like, I need something that's not going to trip me up, that I know how to do without a shadow of a doubt, and I am going to be able to teach my audience and not stress out about it. The only thing I could think of was all my friends at the time wanted me to teach them my Jell-O shot recipe. So my first live video, my first real non-cheater live video, was me teaching my audience how to make Jell-O shots. Now, I knew that recipe by heart. I did not need the recipe. I did not need to look at anything. I knew exactly what I was doing. I was engaged with my audience. I was using my hands, mixing stuff and boiling water and pouring stuff and, whisking stuff and pouring it into containers. And I was doing all this while I was talking to my audience and telling them how to do it. And I realized right then and there, if you're passionate about something, okay, passionate Jell-O shots, I mean, I really do like Jello shots, don't get me wrong. But when you're passionate about something, it's a lot easier to talk about it. When you have a passion, it's so much easier to talk about it. When you have a passion, it's easier to get over yourself and understand that going on live video or getting out as the face of your business and getting visible is not about you. It's about your audience. We have to take it from inward and all these things we say to ourselves. I'm an introvert. I'm shy. I'm scared that somebody's going to say I'm wrong, that I said something wrong. I'm worried about my friends or family are going to think about me. I'm not smart enough. I'm not the expert. There's people that know more than me about this subject. And honestly, I had to just get rid of all of that. I wish back then I would have had Russell Brunson's book that said you only had to be 2 chapters ahead to be considered an expert, because it took a lot of confidence for me to realize that I knew my stuff and I could share it with my audience. But you only have to be 2 chapters ahead. 2 chapters ahead. And we feel like we have to be this expert and we need this certification and we need all these things, but you just need confidence and to be 2 chapters ahead. You just need to know more than your audience to teach them something. I have so many friends that are my competitors, but they teach me stuff every single day. Every single day. And sometimes I still have imposter syndrome and feel like I'm not worthy to teach them stuff, but I still can teach them stuff and they can teach me stuff. And that's amazing. That's a good feeling. And you know what? Even if somebody knows what you're going to teach, how many times do we have to hear something before we come through and do it? A lot. We're all like our kids or our husbands or our dogs or whatever, right? We are all need to be told multiple times, because how many times have you heard something and then you go to a conference, you hear it again, you're like, I knew that. I totally knew that. Like, why didn't I implement this before? Why did I take so long to do this? I knew to do that and I just didn't do it, right? So we need to be told things multiple times over and over and over. And I think we forget about that. And so it's okay if your audience knows what you're teaching them. It's okay if you know what I'm teaching you right now. Maybe something I say resonates with you that somebody else hasn't, resonated with you before. Maybe you're like, this girl's not for me and I'm moving on. And we get to be okay with that too. We get to quit worrying about what people think. Because if they don't like us, number one, if they don't like us, guess what? They're not for us. And that's okay. And if they do like us, they're going to like, know, and trust us, right? They're going to be building that one-sided relationship with us. And I think that's really, really important. So let's get into talk about some action steps, some things reasons you need to be on, or you need to be getting visible for your business. Showing up as the face of your business is so important. Have you ever connected with somebody on their business page or maybe their personal page and they have a logo? You don't know who that person is. Now, some people may have religious reasons and they can't show up in pictures, and I understand that. But when we can connect with somebody, when we can connect with somebody's face and feel like we know them, that is when the relationship starts to happen. That's when the like, know, and trust factor starts to happen. Have you ever put up or done a test like this on Instagram and put up a picture of you and then a graphic, and which one typically does better? Typically, as a social media strategist, I can tell you a picture of you will do better than a graphic. Now, sometimes black and white graphics do well, like with just a quote, and it resonates with people, but people love to connect with other people, especially now. Like, we're so hungry for that connection, right? So, reasons to be visible, there are so many. But number one, I feel like there's so many relationships that can be built, and it's called a one-sided relationship, and I think it's called parasocial interaction. And when you're visible and you show up as the face of your business, people actually feel like they get to know you. Think about how many movie stars, singers, actresses, whatever you want to call them, that you feel like you know. Maybe it's influencers, maybe it's talk show hosts, that you feel like you know because you've seen them on video, right? You've seen them show up in your newsfeed, you've seen them on TV, and you feel like you know everything about them. The same thing can happen when you show up on video as your business, right? As the face of your business. When you're teaching your audience something, when you're providing them value, you automatically become a thought leader or an expert in what you're talking about because they're following you. They care enough to keep watching and hearing what you have to say. And that is so important. That's so important to show up as the face of your business, because when you feel, or when your audience feels that you are that expert, they're going to come to you when they have questions about that subject or whatever your zone of genius is. And I think that's really important. Other reasons to be visible is it's one of the best organic strategies that you can have in your business. Showing up on video, live video specifically. I'm always going to say live video is better than regular video, but live video, they get that notification. They see you were live. Facebook really resonates towards more people being on live video. Instagram, I've been I've been playing around with more live on Instagram, and I used to say, oh, I don't want to be on live because nothing really happens. They don't really notify people. But I'm noticing that the more I do it, the more interactions I'm getting. I'm getting, anywhere from 50 to 100 people on each live video. Are they all my people? Maybe not, but I'm really showing up in their news feeds, and that's important to me. So live video is always going to be my number one suggestion. When we can be back in front of people, I think speaking events are a great way to build that like, know, and trust with your audience so fast. You're there, right? You're there in front of them, talking to them, speaking to them, teaching them something, and they can see you and they can tell you're a real person. Not that you're not on live video, but when we're in the presence of someone, we feel it's different, right? It's totally different. So I can't wait for live events to open back up, but until then, we get to do more video, right? We get to do more live video and virtual summits and all those types of things. So I feel like that is just an important way to get your information out there. Podcasts, even though they're not necessarily typically going to show your face, that is your voice. That is your message. You're getting in front of somebody else's audience. You're getting visible in in front of their audience. Even if it's not your face, it's your voice and your message, and people can still resonate with that, right? So it's a really powerful way to grow your audience, actually, to get in front of other people's audiences by podcasting, by doing like maybe Facebook Live interviews, by getting into their groups and engaging with their people in the groups and maybe getting a live interview or a masterclass or something in that group. Great ways to get visible. Other ways to get visible, is it all about video? No, but I feel like video is really powerful, and I feel like I can't not talk about video. Other ways to get visible, take your content that you create, hopefully it's a video, and repurpose that into other types of content. Not everybody likes video, and I get that. Not everybody wants to consume video, and a lot of our audience may not digest video, even though the majority of our audience should. Not everybody in our audience may digest video as well as other people, and they may want a different medium. Like they may prefer to read a blog or to see a catchy post and grab their attention and get to the point and not listen to a 30-minute video, right? So we get to repurpose content in the way that our audience digests it best, which means that we get to get visible in multiple ways. Video, regular posts, a picture of us, doing a blog post, sending out our email, getting our email out every week at least is visibility. I don't care if they read it. If they delete it, they saw your name. They saw your name, right? They didn't unsubscribe. They just deleted it, and you reminded them you're still around. One of my favorite quotes is, "It is not our customer's job to remember who we are. It is our job to show up in front of our customers every chance we get." And I want you to think about that. Like, how many times have you went to a restaurant or went somewhere and you said, "I can't wait to go back here." And then life happens and you forgot. You totally forgot about that place. And then you see it on a commercial 2 years later and was like, I totally wanted to go there. I totally forgot about that place. It wasn't your job to remember that place. It was that company or that restaurant's job to remind you that they were still around. If you've ever seen that Internet Minute, like everything that happens in an Internet Minute, it's amazing to me. Like, I think it's like 750,000 people logging into Facebook every single minute. Like, you have so much to compete with that it is not our customer's job to remember who we are. We get to keep showing up. We get to keep being visible as the face of our business and showing up in their news feeds so that they can remember who we are, right? So we can keep putting ourselves in front of them and they don't have a chance to forget us. And I think that's one of the most powerful things. So another reason I love being visible is that you guys have heard this quote, I think it's by Dan Kennedy, that people don't buy products or services, they buy relationship stories and magic. And how can we build relationships? By getting visible, right? Getting visible. Visible helps us build relationships. Again, how can your audience get to know you if you can't be found? You know, we get to keep showing up. We get to keep showing up in front of them, and we can do it organically. We can use paid ads if we want, but we get to keep showing up, and I think that is really important. Another reason I love live video, and this is probably the reason most people don't love live video, is because it is an opportunity for you to be vulnerable. It is an opportunity for things to go wrong. My dog may bark while this video is going on, and I cannot stop it. I've had books fall off my shelf during my videos, and it scared the crap out of me. I've had my kid open my door and it squeaked. I've had the Amazon guy come to my door. So many crazy things are happening because I can't control them. It's not scripted, right? I mean, you can like make some notes and try to keep on topic, but you don't know what's going to happen. And when things like that happen, as embarrassing as it is, because I've had it happen, do you know what? It's relatable. It is relatable. People relate to that stuff. People don't relate to some overproduced video that you're always looking perfect in and you never mess up on. People relate to live video. People relate to mistakes. People relate to us being vulnerable, to us being real, to us being an approachable person, right? And I think that's powerful, especially when it comes to live video. So if you think I've ever done a perfect live video, if you think this video is live, if you think I've ever done a perfect speech, if you think I've ever done a perfect training, zero. They've never been perfect. And as a recovering perfectionist, that's really hard for me to say. I will mess up on this video. I will forget to say something because it just happens. It's not scripted. It is just coming from my heart. And I feel like when it comes from your heart, it means more to your audience and they can see through that. So don't expect perfection, see? Expect real. Expect to be real with your audience. And again, understand that the ones that relate to you, the ones that love it, they're your people. And that's okay. And the people that aren't, that's okay too. They're somebody else's person. And it's fine. It's fine. We get to be okay with that. And we get to be okay that sometimes getting on video and showing up as the face of our business really qualifies and disqualifies people for us. And that's okay too. So, other ways to be visible, blogging or vlogs, like you could do YouTube. I love YouTube. Another way is stories. And like I said earlier in this video, when I first started getting on video, I wish stories were around. This is like 2016. I would have like been on stories like crazy because there's no pressure. It's 15 seconds. It disappears in 24 hours. There's no pressure there. And all I had to practice on was cheater live videos. So if you guys missed that part and you're just hopping on, make sure you go back and listen to how you can actually cheat on live videos. And I did it 10 times at least. So I want to talk to you a little bit more about visibility. And one of the most important ways that I've talked about so much is video, because I need to wrap this up. I have a free video challenge, and the link is in the description. And I would love to have you join us in this 3-day video challenge. It's free. It's free. Number one, you're going to make a ton of friends because video helps build relationships better than anything else. So you're going to meet people from all over the world in this free video challenge. My last one I did in April was amazing and so many friendships. It was just such a fun group to be a part of because we got to know each other. We got to learn more about each other, and it just felt good because that was in like the heart of COVID, right? And we were all like home and lonely and wanting to be around people. And so it's so nice to be able to connect with people in the UK, in Australia. You know, it's so nice. And I don't know where you're at, but you could be there now. But I'm in the United States, so it was fun to be able to connect with people all over the world. And I want everybody all over the world to be in this group as well, because I think it's amazing to learn from other people, learn what other people do, and make new friends and build relationships. So I would love to have you. Again, it's free. It's 3 days. The link is in the description, and we start tomorrow. So it's just 3 days, and we will have so much fun. And I will get you out of your comfort zone and help you keep promises to yourself, to keep pushing yourself, because that is what builds confidence. If you've ever listened to Mel Robbins, she talks about that a lot. Doing those little things and keeping those promises to ourselves is what's going to help us build confidence. We're not born with confidence. It's not a personality trait. We have to work on it and build it. And typically when we're not willing to get on video, even though I'm an introvert, even though I can be shy sometimes, even though I don't feel like I'm an expert all the time, even though I have imposter syndrome, the real reason is confidence. And I want to help you build your confidence. And if you get nothing else out of that 3-day video challenge but to build some confidence, I'm okay with that. And I think you'll be okay with that too. Because when you have confidence, you feel like you're on top of the world and you feel like you can do anything. And I want you to have that feeling after 3 days of me challenging you to do video. And it's going to be fun. It's not going to be that scary. It's not going to be scary at all. Just say you're excited. You're excited. You're not scared. You're excited. I'm going to walk you through everything and teach you how I did it to get out as the face of my business. And I cannot wait to see you inside our group. So grab that link. Join us. We start tomorrow. And I cannot wait to see you in there, get to know you more, and help you be and show up as the face of your business. So have a good night, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And again, tell me where you're from, say hi, and drop hashtag replay if you watch this as a replay. Bye, guys.